everyone, welcome to another week of the S&M Sports Talk podcast. I'm Rook, and here with Misty.
Hey everyone.
You can follow us at the stuff that Misty's about to tell you right now.
You don't know them by now?
Honestly, if I could guess, okay, let's do this. This will be fun.
All right.
If I could guess, Twitter I know is SM Sports Talk 1.
Yes.
Bam. Instagram is Instagram S&M Sports Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Facebook is just S&M Sports Talk. That one I know. And the email address is snmsportstalk@aol.com.
Close.
Okay,
Very close.
No, I'm just kidding. snmsportstalk@gmail.com.
Very good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, all right. See, I pay attention.
I put it in.
Anyways, huge sports week. I can't believe it. Tiger Woods won the Oh no, that was 2 weeks ago.
We already kicked that horse.
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah.
I think we did the Tiger Woods.
Can't cover that again.
Why would you kick a horse? By the way, I never understood that expression. Why would you kick a horse? Number one. Number two.
I think it's beat a dead horse, right? That's the expression.
I think we've kicked a dead horse. I think we beat a dead horse.
Beat the dead horse. I think.
But why would you do that?
I don't know. I think that's the point of the expression. It's something that's pointless to do.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. Tune into our English idioms podcast. We'll discuss how ridiculous all of them are.
Excuse me. So, anyways, huge sport is, we try to do consistency. We try to do like once a week. It's been a lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure some of y'all, know. But anyways, right now we're in the thick of things with the NBA playoffs. Unbelievable. Round one. So I got a call on Saturday evening. Mm-hmm. A good friend of ours was calling to make fun of my prediction because I thought,
right.
I thought the Jazz were going to be, a hard out. I thought that they were going to be one of the teams that you don't sleep on. I was right about Portland. I said, hey, Portland is my sleeper team. They're the team that I picked well before the playoff season started. In years past, obviously well before we did any kind of podcasting like that, I'm a huge Damian Lillard fan. And we're going to get knee deep into Damian Lillard, by the way.
That's all I've been hearing.
We're going to get nuts deep. It's Dame time, all right? So that one was correct. The one that I so wrongly got was I really thought that the 76ers were going to be a first-round exit.
Yeah. Pretty sure I saw them playing yesterday.
Man, they beat the brakes off of Brooklyn. I mean, it was not even close. Like, it was just, it was pretty embarrassing. Like, it wasn't even so much that I put faith in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. It was that I thought the immaturity of Embiid and Ben Simmons playing in Philadelphia, how they were, plus Embiid's injury, he missed 2 games, I believe. Having all of that, and they still beat the brakes off of Brooklyn. I mean, this is not fair. It's, I hate being wrong.
Not just totally wrong. You were totally wrong.
Yes. We call that ass backwards where I come from. But anyways,
it's a common phrase around here.
I digress. One thing I do want to mention, and we're about we're about 4 weeks late on this one.
Oh, what?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, of course.
There was a tie.
For what?
First place in our bracket challenge.
Oh,
if you'll notice, it is no longer March.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats to Bobby, so Kristen and Billy. They both tied. I unfortunately...
And also Virginia.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Congratulations to them. We were wrong.
I mean...
I was wrong. Way wrong. I think I got last place in the bracket challenge.
Yeah, there were some questionable last-minute foul calls, but honestly, nobody really remembers anymore. It's been that long.
I haven't even thought about it. I had no idea what you were talking about just now.
For sure.
And literally every week after we record the podcast, like, you know what we didn't talk about?
Yeah.
And I still didn't think about it.
So there is going to be something special for you guys that we're going to send out.
This is your special thing. It's being mentioned a month late.
No. You're gonna get
Congratulations.
something. Yeah, you're gonna get something in the mail. It's gonna take a little bit of time, so
Like maybe for next year's March Madness. No.
Okay, you know what? I don't want to tell you when it's gonna come. That way, when you get it,
Oh, it's like an extra Christmas.
yeah, it's
extra
gonna be like
birthday.
a huge surprise.
Yes.
It might be like a T-shirt with our logo, which Misty worked on the logo, by the way. So
I did.
Yeah.
That's true.
You might get a T-shirt with my face on it. I mean, who would not want that?
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, you can't put that on clearance.
I mean, I don't want that.
That's a
but
hot ticket item.
Somebody might want it.
So that's another thing that we need to address and put the nail in the coffin on. We need to stop beating the horse on that one because it's done.
Really, let's just say it, like call it what it is. Let's just check it off so we don't have to think about it
Yes,
anymore.
yes.
Congratulations.
Congrats
you
to
two.
y'alls.
We doubted both of you and your picks.
Right. So I'm going to run through really quickly where we're at. Okay. Toronto advanced. I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be like a second round exit. Mm-hmm. So there's still a chance for
Still
that.
could be.
They did win the first game. They beat the.
It's a long series.
Yeah. I mean, it is a long series. Unfortunately, last night the Spurs lost, so they are out.
Mm-hmm.
So Denver beat them in Game 7. One of the lowest scoring playoff games I've ever seen, 90-86.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
didn't
rough.
see that.
Yeah. And then the Celtics beat the Bucks earlier today. I did not see that coming. I thought, Kyrie Irving, I thought they were having a meltdown this year.
There's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. He still thinks the earth is flat, I think. I'm not really sure.
Did you see, like, a while ago, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, somebody took a picture of him coming into the facility. He had, like, an atlas, like a World Atlas textbook under his arm.
Did you really?
Yes. Yeah. And then there were some people saying he was helping his son with some homework, or some people were saying he was like, well, look, the book is flat, so the world must be flat. Like, people were making jokes.
I mean,
We do not need to get into flat earthers.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Like, he would be the last person you would request for help if it came to like a.
I mean, if he was your dad, I guess your choices are maybe limited.
No, man. I know my dad's weaknesses,
Like-
all right? There's some things I'm going to ask for help on.
Like-
There's some things I will not.
Hey, son, do you have geography homework? No, Dad, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
exactly.
I'm cool.
I
thanks.
knew as a
I'm not even taking geography anymore.
I knew as a second, third, and fourth grader that if I needed help with math, my dad was the one to go
Right.
because he taught me like ancient Indian math, like
Right.
techniques that Americans don't know about. So
Do that math in your head. You do math in your head faster than maybe most people I've ever met.
the funny thing is when I was a kid, right?
I'm sure it caused you problems because you don't
Yes.
show your work.
Oh my God, this is it. So I believe it was third grade when we started doing long division, and
Right.
fourth grade is when you're supposed to start doing long division plus fractions, right?
Maybe.
Well, that shit I always did in my head, and the
The
teachers.
problem.
Yeah, the teachers were like, "All right, go
Makes you look
go
like a
to
cheater.
go to the whiteboard, which is a black chalkboard. Go on the whiteboard and draw it out." I'm like, "Why do I draw it out? I do it in my head."
I got the right answer, didn't I?
You need to do the steps. Like, why don't you just do the steps? Like, if I know
because
how to.
not all the other kids knew how to do it. You
The-
were supposed to be helping the other kids
No,
learn too.
this is the problem with this world, by the way.
Ugh, you'll
It's
know.
like, it's the journey. It's the journey. No, it's the result. It is a results-oriented stuff.
Not when you're a third grader. They want to make sure you're not cheating.
You know the people that appreciate the journey are the ones that lost. All right? You think in the election, the presidential candidate that lost, they're like, "Oh, well, we had such a great time. We really,
I
really
mean-
had great stuff and great campaigning and great people, but you lost." This is how it is.
I watch Veep, and I can tell you it was not like that on that show.
Dude, spoiler alert.
I mean, for anybody.
Veep
What?
is a great show.
It is a good
It
show.
is a phenomenal. It's
We need to watch the new season.
it's very
like halfway
profane.
done.
There's like a little bit of lewdness in the commentary, but it is a
But
fantastic.
if you can handle the language, highly
Hey, is this
recommend
not
it.
a sports show?
Yeah. You're
Why do
talking.
they-
You're squawking on about ancient Indian math, doing it in your head.
All right, that's true. Okay. So, anyways, back to basketball. So, you all have apps. You can go check out the scores and all that. We don't need to.
We will not be going through.
Yeah,
all of
we don't
that
need to
for
go
you.
through every little team.
We're
every
here to
little
give
score.
opinions.
But here's the deal, though. It's no secret that there are certain players I can't stand because of their attitudes. And, you know, LeBron James is one of them. Hey, he's a phenomenal ball player. He's very charitable. That's what I always hear. But his school. Yeah, I get it. He's a great
he's
guy.
a good guy.
I'm sure he's a great father. I'm sure he's an awesome son.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's
Him and his wife have been together since like high school. He's got to be a good husband.
I'm sure I think he is a stock owner or franchise owner of Blaze Pizza. I'm sure if you see him there, he's the nicest guy. I'm sure he'll buy you and the entire restaurant pizza. He's a good dude. I don't like his basketball
make him a nice
antics.
athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, excuse me, LeBron James, I couldn't stand. I can't stand Kevin Durant. Every 3 days, there's some commentary he's saying in the press conference about, like, I'm Kevin Durant. Y'all know who I am. Like, why do we have to talk about my free agency? Dude, it's a story.
And whinier and whinier. Is that a word? Whinier?
Whinier. Yeah, sure. But it boils down to the epitome of the things I don't like is embodied into one athlete
I was trying to figure out where this bus
named
was driving.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I see. I did that dramatic pause, and I still messed with the name. I said Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, or as a lot of people call him, Russell Westbrook. I mean, here's what I don't get. This whole first round series between Portland and Oklahoma City was essentially Damian Lillard versus Russell Westbrook.
That was the story, for sure.
It's like the hero and the anti-hero. I mean, Russell Westbrook hits a 2-pointer. He's like, pounding his chest. He's yelling into the crowd. You can see him yelling the F word really loud and all this stuff. Dame Lillard hits a 31-foot three. And he's like, okay, turn around.
Back on defense.
Excuse me. He might tap his watch to do like it's Dame time. Fine. That's so minimal compared to the celebrations that we see Russell Westbrook do. And like, here's the thing I really, really didn't like. I didn't like the fact that OKC, they were like taunting Russell Westbrook's, they were taunting Damian Lillard's, his little celebrations like that. Like they were tapping their wrist for the watch thing. And they were like, they were doing like the rock the baby, they were cradling the baby kind of gesture, or whatever.
They can do all that at home.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's where they are.
But I love what Damian Lillard said after they won. They were like, he said, they were pounding their chest and all this stuff after winning one game. We wanted to make sure we won 4 games. Right. And I'm like, man, like...
I gotta hand it to him too. Like,
that's such a calm way to tell somebody, hey man,
whatever.
You can be happy with your small little win. We'll take the series.
Right? Like, you gotta hand it to him. The media tried every which way to goad him into talking bad about Russell Westbrook. Yeah. And he did to it like a little, like in kind of a sly way, like you're just saying, like kind of an underhanded way.
Right.
But they wanted him to come out and say, he's an asshole, we beat him, blah, blah, blah. Right. He never did that. Never at all. Because
he's too good.
Meanwhile, somehow on his way home, Russell Westbrook's still talking shit about Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
they lost. He's headed home. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't know what it is with certain athletes. Like they just kind of attract drama, and I don't get it. But there was nothing more cold-hearted than that Game 5 37-foot three-pointer on Paul George. I mean, it was sick. Yep. And even then, he waved bye to the OKC bench. But
he wasn't jumping up and down, doing all this crazy stuff.
You can't... man, this is why I don't understand it when people talk shit in the second quarter of a football game. We got that touchdown. Odell Beckham, look at that one-handed catch on the Cowboys.
Ain't over till it's over.
But you lost.
Yeah.
I mean... There's no like bigger team sport that has, individual accolades than the NBA. Football is the ultimate team sport, right? If your quarterback stinks, your receivers are going to stink.
Unless you're the quarterback or like a wide receiver, but
basketball,
for the most part,
one superstar can change the entire landscape of a team season.
Yeah, of course. We've heard it relentlessly how many teams LeBron James has single-handedly taken to the playoffs.
For sure. And like I want to apologize for if you heard that. Anyways, it's just okay. I really liked Kevin Durant when he first came in the league, right?
You did.
Yes.
And he was the same way, like real quiet, right?
Because this was the time that LeBron James had done the decision to go to Miami, and he was public enemy number one. And I was like, oh my God, is there another basketball player who might be number two, but is like a nice guy? Mm-hmm. And we looked at OKC and we're like, oh wow, it's Kevin Durant.
Right.
Drafted by Seattle and then moved to OKC, but whatever it was. And then, it so ended up happening that the year after the Mavericks beat the Heat in the finals, the Thunder played the Heat, and they lost. I think it was 4-1, if I'm not mistaken. But I liked him then, and then like throughout the years, I'm like, well, man, he's kind of giving attitude. And I'm like, oh, well, man, now I can't stand him.
Right.
And now Kevin Durant, I'm just like, dude, God, you're so whiny, you're obnoxious, you're entitled, you're a brat.
All that time with Russell Westbrook.
You want all these millions of dollars and like all the fame and fortune and accolades, but part of that is you have to talk to the media. You have to answer media questions. If they're asking about your free agency, that's part of their job. You know what I mean?
Which is funny because you never had a problem with Marshawn Lynch not talking to the media.
Time out. Slow down. We're getting
I'm
to
just thinking.
We're getting to a point here. The reason why I liked Marshawn Lynch's stance, though, I'll be honest, is because his was funny. I'm just here so I won't get fined. That's hilarious. When you repeat that over and over.
Why is that funny? But when like Kevin Durant or Russell, I don't remember who does it. It's like next question.
Okay, next question.
Why is that not the same thing?
Okay, next question is a whiny brat way of answering something.
Okay. All right.
Being a smartass is something completely different. I would just have assumed that you would like the smartass part.
I mean, I used to hate Marshawn Lynch, to be honest.
I like Marshawn Lynch.
He's okay now. Happy retirement, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Officially
no doubt.
retired again.
Yes.
Anyway.
And so then we fast forward to 2019, and now Russell Westbrook's teammate Paul George, another player I liked previous years. Now he's starting to play the next question game, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn guys, like, is Russell Westbrook like the common denominator? Like, he's the leader of the team, and if you're a nice dude and you're a star, that I'm going to bring you down to my level. I mean, do you realize that since Kevin Durant left, it's been 3 first-round exits?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean...
There's really nothing more to say.
Yeah.
How about showboat when you win something?
Right.
How about showboat when you win a series? Because right now...
Or don't. Because even when you win a series, you're still not winning the finals. Like, how about just wait?
As of right now, the narrative is, without Kevin Durant, you really haven't succeeded. Your triple-doubles, amazing. 3 seasons in a row, triple-doubles for averages.
Clearly doesn't win playoff series.
But now, because every year your first-round exit, you're literally just labeled a stat patter, and that's it. So... enough with Russell Westbrook. He's not even in the second round, so there's no point talking to him. Damian Lillard. I'm so sorry. Damian Lillard, I am just so thoroughly impressed. Everything about him. Mm-hmm. Just his demeanor, his attitude.
What about his actual basketball playing?
Oh, his game is phenomenal. And I was discussing with Mike this past, I guess, week, whatever.
Since all of you know who Mike is.
Yeah. It's Mike.
Yeah.
He's a borderline tier 1, tier 2 player. Mm-hmm. Tier 1 would be your Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. God, that's so hard to say. I was trying to be
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I was trying to be so like slick and smooth and just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, man. It's like Smith. Anyways,
Giannis Johnson.
Yeah, exactly, Giannis Johnson. But your tier 2 would be like your Russell Westbrooks or your Paul Georges, and I think he's like a little bit above the tier 2s, but maybe like a little bit below the tier 1. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's say tier 1A.
He's a little bit older, right? So
yeah, but
he's probably not going to move into that tier 1.
Yeah, his game is phenomenal. If I'm and please don't quote me on this, but I think for the past 30 years, I think there's been 5 series winning 3-point buzzer beaters, and he has 2 of them.
Really?
2014, he did it against the Rockets.
Wow.
And then a few nights ago,
Huh.
yeah, it did against the Thunder.
That's like a really random stat, but it's kind of
Right.
a cool one to have on your stat sheet.
A couple months ago, he was on a podcast.
Not this one, but
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I was like, "Yo, Dame, we're too busy, buddy. You know, if you were
We'll pencil you
if
in."
you were a tier 1 player, for
Right,
sure, we could
yeah.
probably wiggle you in, but no."
yeah.
But like, you know, he stated like, "I love Portland. Portland loves me. It's a great city. You know, if players want to come here, fantastic. But I'm not going to look to like join up with other players to win a chip." I love that mentality. I love that attitude, man. Like, stay
Right.
with your city. And
Well, there's something to be said about loyalty too. I think we talked about this when Dirk and Dwayne Wade retired.
right. But do you know what the funny thing is? Russell Westbrook had an opportunity to go anywhere he wanted to go to.
Right.
He was he was about to be a free agent, but he signed a humongous deal with OKC to stay in OKC. OKC and Portland, 2 small ass markets.
Maybe-
So what's the difference between those 2 guys?
Maybe he's so self-important he assumed that other players would come to help him.
It's more that attitude,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he so?
because the way Dame holds himself and his attitude makes that an admirable quality. Whereas with Russell Westbrook, he stayed with OKC, but you're like, oh, well, I guess that's a good thing for him. Oh, his triple doubles, oh, it's phenomenal. Yeah, okay, I guess that's pretty good, because we're always thinking about,
Are you saying because he's just not likable?
yeah, he's not
Is that what
likable
you're
at all.
saying? Oh.
And his clout and his cockiness is not, you know, it doesn't equal what he's won.
I think it doesn't hold the
Yeah.
weight that he thinks it does. Maybe.
Look, if he was in like the Western Conference Championships every year, and there was just like one team, you know, like this Golden State Warriors that he just couldn't get past,
Yeah.
that'd be one thing.
Right.
But he can't get out of the first round.
Right.
I mean, that's not good. You know, and the media has taken it really easy on him every year except for this year. Every year
Why?
it was like,
Why do you think?
just because he has triple doubles.
Oh, like it can't be his fault
Right.
because his stats are good.
Right.
That's
This
what you mean?
is the first year that the media is like, well, man, it's the 3rd year in a row, buddy. Like, you know, since Kevin Durant left, you can't do it.
You got to answer eventually.
And I think the reason
Yeah.
is because like he keeps saying the next question, and he has this personal battle with an Oklahoma City reporter
Yeah.
to where, and look, come on, man, most of these post game conference questions are pretty stupid. You know, so but they're doing their job. You know, they ask you 10 questions, they'll use 3 in their column, and that's it, right?
But sometimes those stupid questions also lead the player to say something
Sure.
that's usable. Like the question kind of baits them into
Right.
saying something
Like
else.
some of the questions he asked was like, oh, well, you know, Damian Lillard didn't score his first points until the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You probably felt pretty good about yourself, right? Or, you know, how do you guys think you did? That's a pretty stupid question.
Yeah, except
but,
that's clearly baiting him into talking about Damian Lillard.
right. But Russell Westbrook, he should be smart enough. And instead, what he
Sure,
said
yeah.
was, oh, I don't know. And it's like a personal beef they have going back and forth. And I'm not really certain what happened. There was an article where the author wrote, or the reporter, you know, discussed what his issues was with Russell Westbrook.
I was going to say, I think at one time we did know what this was
but
about.
honestly, it's immaturity, man. You have to talk to the media.
Right.
That's
And you're
what
not
comes
going
all
to
this
like
stuff.
all of them.
That's what comes.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, yeah, you're playing a game for millions of dollars, but it is still a job.
Right. That's all it is.
I
It's
don't.
a job.
Yeah, I don't know too many people that are like super happy with 100% of their job. I mean, even a baseball player, right? Who was like, man, I'm using that because it's America's pastime, right? Or at
Okay.
least it was. You know, very little injury for most players.
Sure.
Longevity of their career. Unless you're a pitcher. Got that
Lots
Tommy
of
John.
money.
Yeah, tons of money. There's no cap. You know, but even then, you're like, oh man, we got to travel so much. 162 games. Like, there's nobody that's 100% satisfied with their job.
Sure. Yeah.
And if there is somebody like that,
Please write us an email.
I would love to meet that person. Like, I would
We
love.
need to pick your brain.
I would just want to be around. I would want to be in a room with all that positivity. So then I started thinking about why am I get in so many debates with people about these athletes and their antics. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it clicked. I'm not wrong.
I just had a lot of flashbacks of you saying, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
But that also doesn't mean that everybody else is wrong either. So then I started...
What?
Listen.
Okay.
There is something called acceptability, okay? So a few years ago, there was this professor, and he had this graph.
It's about to get deep here, I feel like.
It was how hot a woman is versus how crazy she is, and there's an acceptability area, right?
Like the prettier you are, the more crazy you are allowed to be and still be tolerated in a relationship. Okay.
So
sounds wildly sexist, but okay.
Just close your eyes and imagine. All right.
You don't really have to close your eyes, I don't think.
So have a graph, and it's going to be a linear graph. You have your y-axis, and you have your x-axis, right? So 90-degree angle. Bisect that, and that's a 45-degree angle. On the bottom x-axis is how hot the girl is. Mm-hmm. And on the y-axis is how crazy she is. If you're all the way up and to the right, she's got to be a perfect 10 model, but she's got to be batshit crazy. And if you can accept that, that's okay. But what might make your life a little bit easier is if you accept somebody who is in the 7s or 6s and who's a lot less in the crazy area.
We're going to get a letter.
So I know this sounds really bad. And look, that's all funny. But I kind of came up with my own thing driving the car the other day, right? So replace the hot woman thing and replace the craziness, right?
I see where this is going. The more talent you have.
On the bottom, it's talent. Mm-hmm. Right? And for the x-axis, excuse me, on the y-axis, it is the celebration and the antics.
This includes on-court and off-court antics, or field or whatever sport?
Yeah, sure.
Like all of it?
Sure.
Okay.
So you start thinking about, like, the most talented and the most antics, right? Mm-hmm. So you go back to that 9 and 9. The 9 on the talent level and the 9 on the antics and just you know, the acting out level, right? And you think about what athletes are, which athletes are those?
I feel like I'm getting goaded into talking about Antonio Brown again.
No, I was going to say Odell Beckham. Mm-hmm. Immensely talented, one of the most talented players I've ever seen in my life, and I hate saying that, he's a giant. But
not anymore, he's not.
Well, yeah, he was. One of the most talented players I've ever seen in my life, but he's
crazy for real.
He's batshit crazy.
He's hot girl crazy,
right?
Yeah, I get it.
You think about other players. You think about, you know, even in college, you know, you think about like I don't know, go like a Baker Mayfield, go with a Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, go with Johnny Manziel. Yeah. They're immensely talented, but they just can't. They can't. They'll never be labeled. Oh, that's a good dude.
Right.
That's a really good dude.
They'll never be the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're you know, they have like batshit antic, you know, crazy stuff. You know, you think about like, I don't know, like what comes in your head? Because like for me, somebody like with Damian Lillard, yeah, he may not be that 9 or 10 on the talent level. He might be in the 7, 8.
But he's also more tolerable.
But on the antics wise, he's like a 1 or a 2, because you don't ever hear anything about him.
Right.
And that's a guy that I would. Well, wait, that's okay. This is gonna sound weird. That's
a dude I would date.
No, I didn't say date. That's a player that I admire. There we go.
But my question, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Your long drawn out graph metaphor makes sense here, but do you think this is more true for fans watching the game? Is it more true for coaches who have to put up with this crap in the locker room? Is it more true for GMs who are writing the checks, or like team owners? Who is it true for?
Those guys all get paid. This is just for fanatics.
You mean just as fans watching? Because you don't think that's also true though for coaches, owners, GMs? Like, no. You don't think that more locker room bullshit is put up with when it comes to someone like Odell Beckham, or back in the day, like Terrell Owens is coming to mind.
No, they get paid to deal with these personalities. We don't.
No, I understand, but
If the Cowboys
that...
draft an idiot, I don't know, Randy Gregory comes to mind. If they draft him, guess what? I don't get paid to watch him. My fandom is solely on history, on where I was born,
Right.
where I was raised,
Sure, I understand.
who my parents liked, who my friends in my social circle liked. That's where my fandom comes from, and I'm forced to watch it.
Right. I mean, you're not forced.
I am forced. This is Texas. But there's no... You're not paying me to deal with Randy Gregory and his multiple suspensions.
Sure.
You're not paying me to deal with David
But
Irving
you're not
smoking
gonna
a joint on...
stop. You're not going to stop watching the Cowboys just because of Randy Gregory.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You didn't stop watching because of Greg Hardy. And
Yeah.
he is real crazy.
He is crazy.
So, but I'm just thinking, like, you know, they like to throw around this term like locker room cancer. He's a locker room cancer.
Right.
You don't think that locker room cancer is a little more tolerated if you're, to use your metaphor, like an 8 or 9 in talent instead of like a 5?
Maybe. I think everybody has an acceptability range, which is
Do you think
why...
every team has an acceptability range? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I can only speak to what I know. The Cowboys have a history of a reputation. Okay. They had the reputation in the 90s of putting up with a lot of extracurricular problems from their players because they were extremely talented. Michael Irvin comes to mind.
Yeah.
So do you think that that acceptability depends on the team also? Like,
Yeah, sure.
do you think each team has a culture that accepts like a certain...
Well, it's what we talked
level?
about with the whole Antonio Brown thing when we discussed him for way too many damn weeks.
I'm not allowed to mention him anymore.
Is that, you know, if you know, in the 90s, if Emmitt Smith was asleep during a team meeting, you wouldn't kick him out. But if the 53rd player on the roster was,
Right.
his has to be cut.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long
You were
story
right,
short, I love Damian Lillard. He's awesome. He's an awesome player.
He fits exactly in the sweet spot of
Yes.
talent and antics.
Yeah, and it finally makes sense. It finally makes sense why I argue with so many people, and typically it's people of a generation later than mine, and it's because
What is
they-
the generation later than us? Millennials.
Well, I mean, I'm 29, so yeah. So millennials, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I you know, I like a flashy athlete, but I like an athlete that can back it up. I
To
like
a
an
point,
athlete,
right.
yeah. I like an athlete who is cool with the media. He's, you know, calm. He's not too high. He's not too low. He's not dramatic. He's not tweeting every 5 seconds. He's not all in his feels.
Okay, so who comes to mind with those characteristics? I'm curious. You have like a player in your head that fits all of those things?
Damian Lillard.
But he's not flashy, though. You said you're like a flashy athlete.
No, okay. When I mean flash, okay, flashy
You mean
means
like their play?
super talented. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking like you like them to be a little bit.
Okay, here we go.
cocky or
Let me
something.
give you a couple
Okay.
athletes in my head, and then we got to move on.
Sure.
I would go with Damian Lillard, fine. You know, Dirk Nowitzki, he's retired, of course. I would go with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Hey.
Let's see here. Oh, Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, I see what you mean then.
Um,
None of these people strike me as what I would consider flashy, but I understand what you mean now.
I would say Steph Curry, but man, that's really on the board because he does showboat quite a bit. But it's like, it's kind of like an adorable showboat. It's like, man, you're small, but you can shoot the ball. You know, so you know, it's not like he's dunking in your face. Like he'll never dunk in your face. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, I understand what you mean.
Okay, let's even, you know, transcend sports. I know this is gonna sound like really homerism, but look at Amari Cooper. You know, dude doesn't talk. He
Like,
just
ever.
yeah. And I find that a little bit weird because you expect a receiver to be, you know, a diva or whatever.
It
but
is refreshing to not have like a diva receiver though.
look at DeAndre Hopkins. Dude doesn't talk.
He's really quiet.
Yeah, and he's a
like
phenomenal.
living in this area, you never hear.
Yeah, I mean, and
anything about
he's
him.
phenomenal. Like he's top 3 receiver. You know,
But he doesn't even hit the radar for most people because
Yeah.
you just don't hear about him that much.
you think about baseball. Look at, you know, Adrian Beltre. Look at Mike Trout.
Oh, Mike Trout's a good one.
These are the players that
Mike Trout is arguably one of the best baseball players right now.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you never hear anything negative about the guy. Yeah.
These are players that have that immense talent, but they're not like, there's no bat flipping, there's no showboating, there's no nothing.
Yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at Bryce Harper, and yes, he is an immensely talented athlete, but dude, the bat flips and what's worse than the bat flips is the hair flips. Like, dude, come on, man. Okay,
How many podcast episodes have we had? Have we mentioned Bryce Harper's hair yet? I'm impressed we made it this far.
You know what, though? Seriously, like think about that. Okay, this conversation is going to go in a kind of weird route, but we're going to wrap this up right now. But like, it's 2019. This is not the 90s anymore. It's not like the Sean from Boy Meets World. Like, the long hair look is kind of outdated, is it not?
You sound like a jaded bald man right at the moment.
I'm not bald by, I'm bald by choice. Is what I'm trying to say. Well, like it's just weird. Okay, so could you imagine? Oh my god,
if you start a rap group, could you be called Baldy by Nature?
Baldy by Nature, yeah. Shut up.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like
it's not even that late, y'all. I'm just amusing myself.
What would be your reaction if you went to the mall, right, and you were like shopping for, you know, whatever, Granny Smith cookies, right? Isn't that the company name?
No.
Sally Field cookies? What is it?
Mrs. Fields.
Mrs. Fields, yeah.
Granny Smith is an apple?
Okay, yeah. Sally Field is the actress, right?
Right.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Mrs. Fields cookie, like you're shopping in the mall, right? And let's say you see like a white guy who is, I don't know, 24, 25. Mm-hmm. He has a chili bowl haircut that's parted in the middle.
Yeah.
Would you not be like, wow, dude, like seriously, the 90s called?
No, because I'm not a jerk.
Oh, okay.
No, I totally would.
Anyways, all right. So wrapping up, I like athletes who are humble. They're cool. They're ice water in their veins. You know, they're not all in your face, and that have won. And I know Damian Lillard hasn't gotten to that winning part yet, but I told you guys, that Portland team is my dark horse to rep the West in the finals. If Portland can advance into the conference finals, if they play Golden State, I think they have a shot. I don't know how they'll match up I don't know how they'll match up with Houston. And I know Golden State is the best team in the world for the past 5 years, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I really think Portland, for some reason, matches up with them, and I don't know what it is. Even with Jokic, injured for the year. But we'll see. So next week we'll discuss more, and then we'll have a little more clarity on how the series are going. But another huge thing happened this weekend. And I can't go pick by pick because I got to be honest, the NFL draft is so boring.
Oh, it's so boring.
I don't see how the people that go there.
They got to go for the other stuff. Like there have to be other activities and fun stuff because you can't just go to sit and watch the clock wind down one team at a time.
It's like an inverse proportion. Day one is like the most important picks, right? It's first round.
Yes.
But the clock is 10 minutes on each per, like, Jesus.
No, I think it's longer than that. Isn't it like 12 minutes?
I thought it was 10, but either way.
It's brutal. It's like watching paint dry. And you know what? Those first 5 teams, they don't need that time. They know damn well who they're picking. But some of them still let the clock wind all the way down. It's like that one a-hole in your fantasy football league who knows damn well who they're picking with their third pick, and they still take the whole time.
Yep.
So annoying.
And like
there's always one.
I think what made me laugh the most is the people that go there. Yeah, okay, they might be diehard fans.
We laughed a lot at the fans.
Like when they announce a player, it's a look of like, okay, I'm supposed to know this guy.
What?
And then once they announce the position, they're like,
yes, that's what we needed.
Jeffrey George Stofferson. Huh? Safety.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we need a safety, baby. Yeah, we did good, right?
We're going to the Super Bowl.
You know, it's just the funniest thing in the world. And I have to admit, knowing these players is a huge weakness of mine, especially the past 2 years.
Who knows all of these players except like the maybe the top 3 or something, and then like a few sprinkled in because something happened and you heard about them. But nobody knows all these players, right?
No,
Unless you're like really into college football.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think if you're into college football, you'll know at least the first like 2 rounds, maybe even 3.
2 rounds.
Oh yeah.
Yikes.
But like for me, it's hard to keep up with every little sport, man. Like it's super difficult. This is why, like, when you watch like
Don't you have
Sports
a
Center.
sports podcast?
Oh, jeez. This is why when you watch like, yeah, but anybody can do this shit.
Trained monkeys could literally have a sports
Exactly.
podcast.
Like that's why when you watch Sports Center, like nobody's an expert on anything. They know a little bit about a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, a little bit about everything.
That's why there's so many people on ESPN. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was nuts. I do know this: the Giants shit the bed, in my opinion.
I mean, Giants fans are just, and I don't have any sympathy for the Giants or their fans really in general, but man, this offseason is just not looking good for y'all. Like, your owner is he looks like a moron. I don't know what's happening over there. Do you, like, Gettleman, right? That's his name?
Dan Gettleman,
Like, what the hell is he
Gettleman.
doing? Like,
George Gettleman,
we didn't sign Odell Beckham to get rid of him, right? That's what he said?
right?
And then he got rid of him. And
Yep.
now everyone knew he was going to take Haskins, right? It was like a done deal. I didn't even question it.
Well, I
and then
did.
they took, what's his name? David Johnson?
Daniel Johnson,
Daniel Jones. Sorry.
Daniel Jones. Sorry, Daniel Jones.
Sorry.
So here's the
this
deal.
is one of those like, generic names. Sorry.
Well, here's the deal. Like with Dwayne Haskins, before the draft actually occurred, I was talking to some buddies and I stated that like I heard some bad PR stuff, not personality stuff. He's
Like
still a
what?
good kid. Well,
Worse than Bosa?
no man, both.
We don't even have to talk about that. Anyways.
Do you know about Nick Bosa?
Yeah, he deleted all his tweets.
Yeah.
Like some racist stuff or whatever. Like
It was-
borderline,
borderline.
questionable.
Yeah. Because he was talking shit about Kaepernick.
I mean, maybe it wasn't racist, but all the tweets happened to be about black people.
right. But
Like Kaepernick and Beyonce and
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so all right, you know what? We're gonna touch on this real quick.
Okay, sorry.
This is about to get a little sensitive,
Sorry.
but you have to understand how things work. And I'm not saying he's racist. There's nothing. He's not racist. I don't think. At least I don't know.
He might be. We really don't know.
I am not a fan of Beyonce. Everybody knows this. She's one of the most top sellingest artists in the world in history. Fine, I get it.
Well, she can be a great musician
And her
not
shit's
everyone-
catchy. If
yeah.
you like it, you should put a ring on it. Oh. Yeah, I get it. She's phenomenal.
Right.
She's a great
Sure.
performer.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
Me either,
I don't
actually.
like pop
Yeah.
music. I don't like catchy music, man. I listen to rock and roll. I listen to rap. I listen to, 90s and hip hop and all this stuff. I listen to older country, not this new stuff. Like, that's kind of like my wheelhouse.
Like this little family will never be in the car and say, "Hey, you want to put on Beyonce?"
Right.
Like it just doesn't happen.
I
No
also
offense to her. She's
was
great,
never
but-
into. I also was never into Britney Spears. I was never into, NSYNC. Although I thought they were talented,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never been into the whole pop scene. It's just not my flavor, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Sure, of
So
course.
if I were tweeting, excuse me, God.
If I did,
if I were if I were tweeting about modern music, right?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be like, "Oh, Beyonce's crap," because I think he wrote Beyonce's trash or Beyonce's music is trash, right? I wouldn't write
But,
that.
okay, this is like loaded though. Was it after she came out? Was it the Super Bowl where like her backup dancers were dressed like Black Panthers? Not the movie People, historic Black Panthers.
Wakanda forever. No, you know what? That's
I mean, because
that's
it's
actually
like a context thing. Like
that's a very valid question.
if
I've to actually look
Beyonce
that
said
up.
something bad about white people and he was like, "She's trash,"
right,
probably a different situation than just like, "Oh, I don't like her music."
right, but here's the deal though.
Again, I'm not saying he's racist. I'm just saying there is like a lot of context
But you
involved.
mentioned Black Panther because he said Black Panther was trash too.
No, I didn't mean the movie though. I'm talking about
No, he's talking about the movie.
Black Panthers.
Right. That was one of his
that
other
was
deleted
another
tweets.
thing. Right.
And then he also talked shit about Colin Kaepernick, which once he found out that he might be the second overall pick to the San Francisco 49ers, who Colin
Changed
Kaepernick
his
is a
mind
play for.
right quick.
Oh man, let me delete these tweets.
Well, and he
person-
said like, "Oh, I've grown a lot since then.
Bullshit.
I learned my lesson."
You don't want to get your ass beat in the locker room. So here's a life lesson.
No, it has nothing to do with the locker room. He doesn't want the owners or whoever to look at him and say, "We don't want that smoke. We don't want that
Yeah.
right? We don't want that PR problem."
Here, you know what? Here's a life lesson when it comes to social media. Nobody cares. I'm just gonna be blunt. Nobody cares.
People care. People care what you tweet.
People
but
wanna
you're not
see-
so important that everybody needs to hear what
People
you
want to
think.
see pictures of your family and your vacations. People want to see pictures of that brand new Ford F-150 you got, or that really sweet Mustang you got. They want to see pictures of that. They want to see you say Merry Christmas, Ramadan Mubarak, Happy Passover. Actually, I know the Jewish term for it. I completely forgot some Hebrew term. My apologies. They want to see stuff like that. They want to see positivity and stuff like that. They want to see you concerned about new stuff. You know what people really don't give a shit about on social media?
Your views on politics.
Oh man, I went to Costco today and they didn't have my favorite chicken wing. Nobody gives a shit. Just stop. God, dude, we as a society
but also about politics. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
We're so self-involved.
That's our PSA for you guys.
Yeah.
This week, nobody cares what you think.
Is that
about
prostate-specific antigen?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Public service announcement. Nobody cares what you think about the president.
Dude, we're so self-involved that
mayor,
we believe that everybody wants to know every little bit of our daily lives,
and that our opinion will change the view of every follower that we have.
So
everyone thinks that for some reason.
So back to Bosa. It kind of paints a weird picture, and I want to relate it to something that happens that I see very often, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody will put on like a Facebook post or like a Twitter post or Instagram, whatever, blah blah. Like, oh, I went to go see this band or I went to go see this rap group. And 90% of the people are like, oh, awesome. Oh, that's not my flavor. Oh, how was it? Oh, I hope you had a good time. But then there's that select few people, and actually, it's probably not even 10%, so it's less than that. But they'll say things like, I listen to rap crap. Well, okay, I get it.
Nobody cares.
Rap may not be your flavor.
Just don't say anything, then.
But do you have to say rap crap? Why can it not be like, oh, hey, you know what? I don't really appreciate hip-hop. I think they objectify women. I think, a lot of it as drugs,
Why do you even
gangs.
need to say that anyway? You
Just
want to say that,
like
say
it.
it on your own thing.
Right.
Like, you don't have to comment on somebody else's thing.
I think people paint themselves worse than they should.
Well, I'm glad that you said that because I feel like these people, like Nick Bosa, right? That's his name, Nick. I get them confused.
He's like a Jonas brother. Oh, there's too many of them.
Whatever, the Bosa that just was drafted.
Would you call them the Bosai?
The Bosies. Whichever one was just drafted. Like, if you didn't mean...
If you can't tell, I'm trying to work on my Denzel laugh.
It's pretty good. Training day laugh.
You like him, and you like him.
Oh, no, don't go John Q on me. I can't even handle it. Don't. But my point, and this has happened quite a few times, actually. They, delete all these tweets that they made when they were younger, or they made yesterday, or whatever. And then they come out and say, oh, I didn't mean anything by them, but I've learned a lot. Okay, here's my thing. If you didn't mean anything by them, then be a man and stand by what you said. If he wasn't being, mildly racist or questionable with what he tweeted, then stand by that shit, right? Stand by your words.
So I think what you're saying
is... If you really thought Black Panther was a crappy movie, then say, I'm not racist. I just thought it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
If you really aren't being...
You don't even have to say you're racist. Just don't delete it.
That's what I'm saying. If you really aren't being... I'm not even just racist. If you aren't being crappy with what you're saying...
Right.
Then don't delete... stand up and say, I don't care what people think. I didn't mean it that way. You can't tell sometimes how people mean things on social media. Whatever. But two things. If you delete it, first of all, it immediately makes it look like it is whatever everyone thinks it is.
Right.
Racist or ugly or whatever, sexist,
homophobic, misogynistic, whatever, yeah.
But also, if it's not those things, then that means you've got no backbone. And then you still can't be respected. There's no way to be respected in this situation.
So either have the brains to
not tweet it,
or have the balls to stick by it.
To stand by it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there is no way to come out smelling like roses in this situation. So just people, here's another PSA for you. People our age who have children who are going to grow up with all this crap, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, please let that be one of the lessons to your children. What you tweet is seen by other people and people will question you. So if you don't want to talk about it with other people in 10 years, don't tweet it.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. You never know where your life is going to go. You don't want to answer for it later. So just shut up about it.
Well, the funny thing is, they do those memories, hey, this is your post from 14 years ago, whatever.
How often do you get embarrassed? Why did I think everyone needed to know what I had for lunch? I think that's sometimes.
Well, I never did that. But I did see one from 3 or 4 years ago where I disparaged the hospital I worked for.
Oh.
And I sat there and I thought, like, damn, you know, like
People have been fired for things like that.
why would I ever write
Sure.
that? And it was
Yeah.
okay.
It
I don't
wasn't
want
even that bad, I'm
It wasn't
sure.
really that.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something like it was something along the lines of, did I really sit through traffic at 6:30 in the morning to deal with like
Being disrespected
to
at
deal with
work or
lazy
something.
to deal
Yeah.
with the lazy coworker, right? So something along
Yes,
those lines.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, dude.
Not even
know.
like hospital name here sucks. I can't believe I have to work here.
Right.
It wasn't even
It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking to myself, like, that was really stupid and immature. And that was so mild and benign.
Compared. Yeah.
But I still deleted it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that in my history.
There's no need.
Yeah.
And again, you are not so like important in the. I hate to break this to you or anyone else. You're not so important in the world that you need to be saying stuff that is questionable or will hurt somebody's feelings or make you look bad.
But no, I like what you said earlier. Like, either stick with it or be smart enough to never tweet or post it ever.
Right. Like, you can't have it both ways.
So yeah, that's our wonderful PSA.
Sorry, just one more thing. Like, if you do tweet it and then delete it, don't be stupid enough to think that somebody didn't already screenshot that.
Right.
Like, it never goes away. Somebody has captured it somewhere.
Do you realize you just bogarted this conversation talking about Bosa?
Sorry.
I was in the middle of a Dwayne Haskins story.
My soapbox is right here. I'll step down. Sorry about that. Dwayne Haskins. Oh, the Giants shit the bed.
Yeah. So
that.
yeah. Well, but what I said was there was like negative PR about him, and not it wasn't personality related. It's because when he went to the meeting with Denver, he wore a John Elway jersey, right? Oh. And he was like, "Oh man, I really think I'm gonna be a great fit with Denver," right? Then he met with the Giants, and then like I think he tweeted or he maybe said in an interview, "Oh man, I can't wait to get to New York. Like I'm gonna be." And then he went to Washington. He was like, "I have like a really good connection to the rest." And like I get it.
If you're dating 3 girls at the same time, you can't let them know that you're dating all of them. Right? You got to be a little more inconspicuous about
true.
that.
That's true.
I mean, what you say in your meetings is one thing. You can't be so public about like.
So the Giants ended up getting Danny Jones, Duke
or
quarterback.
Daniel Johnson, or whatever his name
Duke
is.
quarterback.
0 star.
It wasn't it wasn't like a complete surprise because
It was to me.
Because Gettleman did mention pre-draft how much he liked the kid,
Right.
and there's a relationship with the Manning brothers. The coach. One of the coordinators is he was a coach of Eli at Ole Miss, and he also coached Peyton Manning as well.
And it couldn't have been a complete shock. Like Mel Kiper, that's his name, right? On the while we were waiting for
such weird hair.
Yeah, he does. While we were waiting for the Giants pick, he even said he thought they were going to take this kid. Like, I guess it wasn't as shocking as it seemed to me. But
I was dead sure that they were going to get Dwayne Haskins. I really was.
I mean, the Giants fans that I have spoken to don't know what the hell they were doing.
Oh yeah, your one friend that's pretty. Your Giants.
He's not happy.
Yeah, so there's a guy that Misty used to do a rotation with in Chicago.
This whole offseason got him in a tizzy.
It's so great because it's that beautiful Giants versus Cowboys hatred, but it's so civil and so nice.
Yes, yeah.
Like I read some of the messages.
Not only is nice, but pretty civil.
Yeah, but I read some of the messages. I'm like, man, this is nowhere close to the shit that I get. I get like profane words, and I get loser, and anyways. But yeah, I was really thinking that they were gonna get Dwayne Haskins, 50 touchdowns. I mean, God, that's such an unbelievable mark, and I really thought they were gonna get it, and I feel like they shit the bed. But you know what?
But they've got Eli for 2 more years.
1 more.
1 more year. Yeah. So that's time to like groom this kid, like ease him into the system. Who knows?
You know what? If here's the deal. If he's intelligent, he's not athletic.
Wow, but you don't always have to be the most athletic.
Neither is Tom Brady.
Right.
And we all know how good he is.
Yeah.
So if he's intelligent and if he can read defenses, then there's hope.
Sure.
But if he's not,
I mean,
when you draft a QB 6th overall and it doesn't pan out, you are screwed potentially for the next 6 to 10 years. Reason being, if you give the kid 2 years as a curve, right? First year if he sits the full first year, then you give him 3 years because you can't really just throw him into the lion's den and expect him to be a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or
Right.
whatever.
Sure.
But then every pick, every subsequent year that you're not spending on a quarterback, you're wasting more and more time.
Right.
And then by the time he gets good, well, now maybe the receivers he had kind of stink, and which the Giants receivers stink right now. So actually, they're okay, but it really just kind of depends.
Are you saying because quarterbacks aren't like plug and play? They need time to develop. Like
yes.
a wide receiver, if you draft an amazing wide receiver, you can stick him right in.
I don't know about that.
Right? If he learns your system,
If he
doesn't
learns
need
your system,
3
yeah.
years to
No.
get. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, or a running back. Like they don't need a full year of sitting on the bench to figure it out.
Here's the way I see it, and this is the reason. This goes back to Jason Witten versus Tony Romo when it came to broadcasting. Tony Romo knows every moving part on the offense and the defense, so he could see the plays. Jason Witten knows what receivers are supposed to do, which is why maybe his commentary wasn't as informative as Tony Romo's. Everybody was so mesmerized and blown away by Tony Romo. He's a quarterback. They learn everything. That's why it's the hardest position in all of sports. Yes, harder than a pitcher, harder than point guard for the Lakers, whatever.
Because you have to anticipate what every
have to
single
know everything.
offensive and defensive
You have to
player
know
will do.
where your left tackle is, as well as your tight end on the right side, as well as your running back, as well as your wide receiver.
And you
Plus,
also-
you need to know the defenders. The safety on this
Yeah.
side is biting down for the run, and the corner on that side is blah, 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 blah.
And not just where they are right now, you have to know where they will be in 5 or 10 seconds
Yes.
from now.
So that's why it's the hardest position. So
Sure.
if you really flop on that pick, on that number 6 pick, then you're kind of screwed for, okay, fine. I said 6 to 10 years, at least 4 years.
Forever.
At least 4 years. And you know what?
Oh.
That makes me happy.
And yeah, I was going to say, I don't care, but
Because Washington doesn't have any receivers. Philly's got Carson Wentz, which I think he's super overrated. I can tell you this right here. Carson Wentz ain't no Nick Foles. And I said it. I don't give a damn. It's true. Nick Foles is a Super Bowl champion. Nick Foles is a Super Bowl MVP. Carson Wentz hasn't won a single playoff game. These are facts.
we're going to find out.
These are facts. But anyways, overreacting to these picks is really ridiculous. It is April, about to be May.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this in September.
Yeah.
Oakland is another team that had 3 first-round picks, and I felt like they reached for every single one of them. I don't see...
By reach for, you mean they took players earlier than they needed
Yeah,
to? Is that what
yeah.
you mean? Because that was one of the arguments, too, right? The Giants could have waited to the second round and probably
Yeah.
still gotten this kid.
They could have gotten Jones, Jesus, probably in pick 17.
Right.
But Gettleman, had a statement out, I think today or yesterday, or actually last night,
No, you don't wanna
saying
risk
that
it,
no,
do
he
you?
saw there were 2 teams that were potentially going to get him. I think one was Miami. I believe the other one was, oh man, somebody else. I'm not really sure, but
But Miami just got Rosen.
Rosen, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see how this plays out. the other
I'm
other
excited
rounds,
for football this year.
I am.
Should be interesting.
I am super excited.
Like a lot. I feel like more, and maybe I've just paid attention more, but I feel like this offseason has been more shakeup than
Right.
normal.
Speaking of, we're gonna have a different format for football season.
We can't decide. Shrook over here recommended we do 3 podcasts a week during football season.
I gotta put in the
We
work.
won't be doing that.
No, I was thinking like Friday nights to kind of predict the Sunday and Monday games, and then Monday night like.
But
just
what
like
about Thursdays? Ugh.
Oh
We'll
man,
figure it out.
goddamn Thursday games. Anyways, so that's that. So there's I guess like 2 more stories we're going to talk about, and then we'll kind of cut this short. This has been kind of an odd week. We're recording in the bedroom right now. I didn't feel like moving the birds in the bathroom.
The baby's still not asleep.
I'm just so tired. This was a very tiring weekend.
Yeah, it's been rough.
So Tyreek Hill,
Ugh, this guy. Do we really have to talk about him?
you know what?
It's constant.
I'm gonna speed this one, okay?
Yeah. Jump through.
He's
He's a jerk.
He beat and strangled his pregnant girlfriend a few years back. She dropped the charges. He went to the NFL. They're still together. They had a baby. Obviously, she was pregnant. Now, the 3-year-old boy has a broken arm, which he's denied. The police have been there. They ripped away custody from Tyreek Hill and the mother. And now there was audio of them walking in Dubai airport, where she's talking about, I stood up for you with the Department of Homeland Security, with Child Protective Services. Essentially she's admitting to lying to a government agency to protect him, saying that he didn't do it. He said a lot of threatening things. This kid has just been, a broken arm, and
allegedly he punched him in the chest.
Yeah.
Like he punched the 3-year-old in the chest.
He didn't deny it. He did not deny it. He hits her with he hits him with the belt. Then he said that, oh no, you hit him with the belt too, and she didn't deny that. And so the Chiefs have suspended him.
Good.
And banned him from all off-field activities while this
the
investigation
NFL
is going on.
should do the same thing.
And shit gets real. It gets tough when you talk about like child abuse, right, or spousal abuse, or elder abuse.
You want to beat up on other men, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. We'll deal with that conversation. But when it comes to kids, it's totally different.
Like leave the defenseless alone. Like leave the kid alone. Leave the older grandpa or grandma alone. Like just stop.
But Roger Goodell needs to sack up on this one and immediately not play around. Tyreek Hill does not need to be in the league anymore.
Here's my thing, though.
At least for an amount of time. She needs to go to jail for lying to CPS, and Tyreek Hill needs to be out of football. Period.
So
no questions.
So my whole thing is and I still don't understand this. If you don't want your kid, if you want to beat the shit out of them, if CPS has already taken them away once, then why not just put them up for adoption?
Give them to a family member.
Yeah, just hey, you obviously are showing you don't want to have a kid and you don't give a shit about having kids. Fine. Hey, I'm not going to judge you.
But it's also,
trust me. Look, dude, I am a father of a 2-year-old. I've got one on the way. Big news.
What?
There are times where I'm just like, damn, I am so tired.
Or so frustrated.
Yeah.
Kids are frustrating. That's okay.
I'm trying to catch them on I'm trying to catch them on Game of Thrones.
And she just keeps interrupting.
And she's like putting Baby Shark in my ear. I'm like, dude, I gotta hear what Tyrion is saying. I can't hear Baby Shark do 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 and all this nonsense. All day long. So look, and I don't want to get into this because this is a disgusting topic. But if you don't want kids, if you're gonna beat them, if you can't handle that shit, just give them up to an adoption agency or a family member, whatever, dude.
Or if you're a woman whose child's father beats them and you know that, stop letting him see the kid.
I just don't get. Oh, he now has a no contact clause.
Now he does. What about before the kid's arm was broken?
The kid has a broken arm. It's one thing if it's like an infant, if they fall, then, yeah.
We had this conversation off microphone. Like, babies, I don't know, little babies are a little bit more fragile. You don't break a 3-year-old's arm by accident. I mean, he probably wasn't trying to break something. That's not what I'm saying. But like a 3-year-old, you don't snatch them up and break their arm. Like, 3-year-olds are pretty sturdy beings. Their bones are pretty well formed. Like, it takes some force to break an arm of a 3-year-old. So, in short, Tyreek Hill's a piece of garbage, and he doesn't need to be playing football anymore.
Yeah, be that as it may. You can't have all these stories about you and keep playing like you're innocent. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. You don't. Anyway, okay. So I know we talked about Game of Thrones.
Oof,
hey, no spoilers. We're rewatching.
We're on season 5, y'all.
Yeah, so we've already seen season 7, but we're rewatching everything so we can get back onto season 8.
I forgot so much.
Yeah. Hey,
it's really good the second time. If y'all only watched it once, I recommend starting over. It's really even just as good the second time.
You know who is about spoiler alerts though? LaShawn McCoy.
Do we have to talk about this?
What a jerk!
What a jerk!
What is the movie? End of Adventure or something like that?
No, Avengers Endgame.
Avengers, not Adventures.
Endgame. So
Avengers
it's like
Endgame.
The culmination of all the Avengers. We are not Avengers fans, if you guys can't tell, but my understanding is like it's the culmination of all the stories coming together, and this is it. So like this is the end of the saga.
The last superhero movie I saw was Wakanda. No, Black Panther.
Black Panther, and that was like
it was garbage.
A year after it came out.
By the way, Black Panther, effing amazing.
Super good.
It's one of my favorite storylines.
And Troop does not like superhero movies.
I don't,
by the way,
because before
even the first 10 minutes of Black Panther, he's like, "This is dumb."
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah. The first time as a Black Panther, I was like, oh god, really? Is he really a Panther?
Well, the beginning is like kind of a time travel sort of situation, right? So it is kind of weird in the beginning. I get it, but
I thought it was phenomenally acted. I thought, forget, I don't care about the actor. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's cool. I like him a lot. I don't care about all those folks. That storyline was really cool, and I like how it was like it was very modern and very ancient at the same time.
and even though it's like an superhero story, so it's completely never going to happen. Like while you're watching the movie, it seems believable,
right?
Like it seems like like Avatar.
I was
it's
just going to say that.
a ridiculous story,
I was
really,
just
but
gonna say,
while you're watching, you're
I
like,
felt about Black
wow.
Panther the first
Yeah.
time I felt about Avatar. But we saw Avatar in 3D, and
did.
that's that's too much for my senses. I can't take 3D movies.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Anyways, LaShawn McCoy spoiled Avengers End of Days,
Endgame,
whatever.
like literally the day after it came out.
Like that.
And y'all, okay, I don't want to tell. I am so stupid that I read the tweet, so it was spoiled for me too. But I will tell y'all this: the information he was so I didn't know this, but on Twitter apparently you can mute certain terms. So people had muted like all the character names, Avengers, whatever. So like if anybody tried to spoil the movie, that it would be muted from their timeline, right? This a-hole, I don't know if he did it on purpose or because he's dumb, he misspelled things in the tweet, so it got around the mute terms on Twitter. So even all of his followers who muted these terms from the movie still got the movie spoiled. Like literally every follower that he has. And it wasn't just like an accidental one time and he deleted the tweet. He repeated it like in 2 tweets and made a video with his like 6-year-old son about it. Like just no shame at all. People are pissed. People were calling for him to be kicked off of Twitter. People were calling for him to be kicked out of the NFL.
it just reminds
Ridiculous.
me of like the Christian Bale Batman 2, you know, when they're discussing like, Alfred, what is a Joker's motivation? Well, Master Wayne, some people just want to watch the world burn. You know, like some people just want
Is that your
anarchy.
Michael Caine impression?
It was phenomenal.
Terrible.
It was awesome. Some people just...
That is true. Some people just want to like ruin a day.
Look, I haven't seen... I don't know any of the Avengers. I think Iron Man is one of them.
He even had to ask me what characters were in the Avengers. He still didn't want it spoiled. I told him, "Can I tell you what the tweet said?" And he was like, "No, don't tell me. Don't tell me."
I haven't even watched Iron Man 1 yet. And that's on my to-do list.
Is that like the oldest Avengers movie? I wonder.
I don't
like
know.
The first one.
I gotta find like a
There's probably a
chronological
list
order,
of like what order to watch them in.
But I still don't want to know because it's a jerk thing to do that. And apparently everybody on my social media is going batshit crazy about this movie. So there has to be something in the end.
It's like a 3-hour movie too. It's like really long.
So somebody, one of my old middle school or high school friends, wrote, "I just got out of Avengers Endgames." And he's like, "I just finished it, and I just bought a ticket to watch it again." I'm like,
who can watch 6 hours of movie?
Oh, that used to be our Christmas tradition in my family.
Not the same movie. Not the same
yeah.
3 hours. That's like sitting through Titanic twice in a row.
We used to movie hop. We used to go to 3 movies.
No, movie hopping is different when you've gone to different. Okay, first of all, not legal. I don't recommend it. We don't condone movie hopping.
It was all day.
Pay for your tickets, y'all. But
no, man,
to watch the same 3-hour movie, like 3 different 2-hour movies with different stories, is one thing.
Yeah.
But like, it must be really good if you're willing to sit through 3 hours and then 3 hours again. That's like watching Lord of the Rings movies, like one of them straight through like 2.5 times.
Oh my God. Do you remember?
Like that, those are like heavy dense movies.
When the third one came out, I told you we should watch because they were doing like the all
it's
3
like
of them in a row.
9 hours. All of them together is like 9 hours, right?
Okay, what is with nerds dressing up at movie theaters?
I don't know. I've never done that. I don't know.
I went to a movie. I don't know if it was with you or with my family. Anyways, I went to a movie a while back, and it just so happened to be the same night that one of those Harry Potter movies opened up. And like, you know, I see all these like little dorks, and they're not even young, by the way. They're not like
Harry Potter fans are like our age.
They're like in their mid-20s, you know, with like capes and glasses and shit. And I'm like, God.
I think people who grew up like being into Harry Potter are probably like 27 to 35 now, like grown people.
I'm just saying, when Star Wars, like the third one came out or whatever, like people like had lightsabers on in the movie theater, I'm like, dude, that is so distracting. I came here to see the silver screen, not your little cheap ass $25 toy you bought from Walmart.
Have
like,
some fun, nerd.
no, man.
You're the
like,
nerd.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, you go to Comic-Con and you're not dressed up, you are the nerd. Like, whatever the majority is doing is the cool thing to do.
So what is
At a place like
acceptable?
that.
If you go to watch the Ray Charles movie, you can go in there with like shades.
No.
Why? As dressing up?
Because you do that for like fantasy things, like superheroes, Harry Potter,
He's
Star Wars,
a blind
Star
pianist.
Trek.
That's a fantasy
It's a
right there.
true story. It's like a biography. You do
Yeah.
that for
He's a
Lord of the
superhero.
Rings, Game of Thrones. You don't do that for like the Johnny Cash story. Stupid.
You wore my black suit coat, Johnny Cash.
You can't walk no line.
Oh my god, yeah. Should I bring my acoustic guitar to the movie theater?
No.
No, just in case, guys.
No, you
got-
should not.
It's just, I don't know. I think, if you can't tell, it's a huge pet peeve of mine. Like the whole dressing up for stuff. Like, if it's not Halloween, or if you're not being paid to do so, don't dress up. Like, that's nerd stuff right there.
Your life is sad.
It's
I'm
just,
just kidding.
it's just nerdy. Dorks. Anyway, so Tyreek Hill is a jerk. LaShawn McCoy is just,
A jerk too.
Oh, God.
Different kind of jerk.
Yeah.
But
but anyways, so we have the NHL playoffs, and I have to ask a question.
wait, first of all, we need to apologize. We have been corrected. On the last podcast, Shruk very boldly and confidently claimed that every series is best of 7, right? You said that? Best
Hey.
of 5. What'd you say?
What do we say? I said best of 5.
Best of 5. We were corrected. Thank you, Ray, who's always seems to be correcting us.
What did I
Best
say?
of 7.
Hey, what did I say? Brains and balls. I have the balls to stick by. Yeah, it's best of 3. You win 2 games, you get to the
1 and
second
out.
round.
Yeah.
You win 3 games, you get to the third round.
Yeah.
I think at one point it was best of 5. Oh, please.
I mean, I think a lot of
I
sports
think-
were
I
best
think
of
I'm
5
right.
at one point, right? The NBA used to be best of 5,
Yeah, I
right?
think
For the
so.
first
It's-
round or something.
You know what? It's funny, like when you read stuff, when you read history, like it's like revisionist history, right? Like, you read some of these things, and you're like, God, really? Did you know?
Every year I used to ask you, like, how many games is the first round
Right.
of basketball? Because I feel like it changed.
Yeah, well, okay, basketball 100% is now all 7s. But do you remember? You don't remember because you didn't really watch too much football when you were younger. But I remember when Arizona Cardinals were in the NFC East.
I don't remember
There was
that.
5 teams in our division.
Nope, don't remember it.
You know what I mean? Like it's weird
Things
because
change.
Yeah. It does change. Anyways, so my question
Wait,
is,
I'm sorry, this is just a random thought.
Mm-hmm.
When the Raiders go to Las Vegas, will they change conferences?
I don't know.
No, they'll stay in the conference.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, how does that happen? Because teams move, or when teams move, like, are the Tennessee Titans in the same conference that the Houston Oilers were in?
Yes.
So it stays. So that's not how. Sorry to to take that left turn. Sorry about that.
You know
Anyway,
what?
so NHL.
I see how boldly said yes. I have to check that.
Okay.
Oilers and Titans. I'll find out.
You know, this has been
But-
a problem since I've known you. You so confidently answer questions when you have no idea what you're talking about that I just stupidly always believe you. Like, oh yeah. And then I tell other people like, oh, I'm so smart. I know all these things. They're like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah. Mexico is not north of us.
No, it's not.
Anyways, are the Stars good? Man, they're in the second round.
I think they're good.
They just tied it up.
I know.
The series is 1-1 with the Blues.
I think they are pretty good. Now, I don't know if they're like good enough to go all the way, but in that first series, I actually
yeah.
paid attention to that and they were killing it.
Yep. So we got the Avs and the Sharks. Oh, baby shark, jeez. They're,
Wait, it's round 2, right?
Yeah,
Right
it is
now
round-
for
yeah.
hockey. Okay.
yeah. So the Avs and the Sharks are tied 1-1. The series is tied 1-1, and then you have the Boston Bruins and the Blue Jackets also tied 1-1. You got the Canes. They're up 2-0 on the Islanders. And so yeah, man, things are about to get real.
Oh, the Golden Knights didn't make it this time. Oh, that's sad.
They got screwed. But I think it was like a legit call. But either way, you and I actually went to Vegas
We did.
last year
During this time,
during the
during
playoff.
hockey playoffs,
Man, it was so hype. Everybody was wearing the jerseys.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's like such a feel good story, right?
Oh,
Like he
man,
really
yeah.
wanted, and all that bad stuff happened in Las Vegas, and it was like a feel good,
yes,
like when the Hurricane Katrina happened, and then the Saints like did
Right.
really well.
right.
Anyway, sorry. So do you know who's?
Wait, what bad thing of it? Oh, the shooting thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, man.
Oh, can we not? So who?
No, well,
I'm sorry.
I want to interject though. I did read that a synagogue got shot up.
Oh yeah.
I
San
read that.
Diego, I think, right?
Yeah, I read that like late last night,
Yeah.
or was it early this morning? I can't even remember now. But then the mosque was shot up in Sri Lanka. Sorry, the church
No,
was in Sri
churches,
Lanka. The mosque was shot up in New Zealand. I think about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cra-
and we
crazy is all over the world.
We live in a
people.
sick world, man.
Yeah.
Leave these people should leave the prayer areas alone. Like
Like, that's like the one place where you should be safe
no
from,
shit. No kidding.
and like not have to think about.
man.
I don't know.
It's
Anyway.
like shooting up like a pediatric area. Like dude,
like a
you
school,
think that's a safe?
like
yeah.
an elementary school. That should be like a place where you are safe. You
I
don't have to
get
think
it, man.
about it.
Hey, everybody out there, stay safe. People
Yeah.
are. Once again, that's like my favorite word today.
Be
That
vigilant.
shit crazy.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to just constantly be aware of what's around you and what's happening.
Hey,
Sad.
you know what? But that you can extrapolate that to everything. Be vigilant on the be observant on the roads. Man, I can't tell you how many times on my commutes I'm just by sheer like paying attention, I was able to avoid an accident because people want to cut you off. They want your spot. They're doing this. They're on their cell phone, whatever.
It's back to that whole social media phenomenon. Like everyone thinks their commute is more important than yours.
Yeah, I just
Like everyone thinks that wherever they're going is the most important place.
the funny thing is I probably was that guy, but on a very less scale,
Yeah.
smaller scale when I was younger.
Yeah.
Whipping in and out with a Mustang and all that stuff. But the older I get, man, I just want to make it from point A to point B.
Yeah. You
alive.
got kids now. Like it's
You
different.
check out my daughter, hang out, have fun with the wife.
Like not have to deal. Now when
Yeah.
you're older, you think like if I get in an accident, the car will have to go in the shop.
Yeah.
That's a whole pain in the ass I don't want to deal with, and
Yep.
insurance and all this. Like,
Well, I called you the other day on my commute to work, and I told you I almost got in a bad wreck.
yeah.
The first thing I told you, I didn't say like, "Oh my God, I could have been in the hospital. I could have been hurt." I was like, "Man, do you know how big my goddamn deductible is for Geico?"
That's how you know you've gotten old.
I was like, "I cannot
Yeah.
afford a car accident right now. Hey,
Right.
medical bill, no problem. Fine, but my deductible for my Geico is ridiculous. If I get into an accident, I don't want to play with that fire, man. I'm done."
So anyway, hockey playoffs. I was
Yes.
gonna ask you, do you know like who's the favorite to
Okay.
go forward? Do you know? I'm not sure.
So right now, no.
So let me be honest with you. I have no idea.
Okay, okay.
Okay, let's try to
Truth-
call it then.
Truth be told, I was gonna study the crap out of this.
I know we really had a rough weekend.
Yeah, this has been, and when you find out pregnancy and all this stuff, like, things get.
Don't try to blame it on
changed.
that.
Yeah,
That was just a crazy weekend altogether. This whole week has been off.
but you know what today is?
Hump day? I'm just kidding.
Mike. You know what today? No, today is Arya's birthday.
Ah.
Not Arya Stark. Arya, my niece.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, little girl. Love you. We're.
You were doing everything to not talk about the hockey playoffs.
No. I'm sorry.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's why we were kind of like stressed out and all this stuff. Like we haven't had a lot of
there's
time.
like tons of stuff going on this week. Yeah.
Like in addition to that,
crazy.
in addition to like finding out the pregnancy and having to take time to go to the OB-GYN and all this nonsense. Like I've been trying to take time off of work to go fly out to LA, and now it's super expensive because we have to pay for our daughter's ticket because she's 2+ now, and it was
tricky kid getting
yeah.
bigger.
I couldn't find plane tickets that worked with my work that had me in Los Angeles for more than 36 hours without paying $1,000+.
Do the people need to know all of the drama? What we did? We didn't
So
go.
I tried my Capital
Okay.
One card because
Anyway.
I get 1% cash back. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so anyways, about hockey playoffs, you want to do prediction stuff?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I mean, I don't really know the divisions. Can you point them out to me? Like, okay, let's see. If the Stars are good, I hope they go. If they're as good as they seem to be,
Well, because I am a homer, I 100% want the Stars to go.
because I think they haven't been to a Stanley Cup playoff in like a
I
while,
think since
right?
2000. No, playoffs. No, I don't know. But
No,
the
I mean like
finals,
the
yeah.
finals. That's what I meant.
Right. Okay, so Stars and Bruins are tied 1-1, right?
Okay. I'll take the Stars in that one.
Okay, we got the Av and the San Jose Sharks tied 1-1.
I'll take the Avalanche.
I knew it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't your ex-boyfriend like the Avalanche?
He did.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Then you got the Canes and the Islanders.
If you're listening, I got your team.
Yeah, yeah. Then we got the Canes and
listening.
Islanders.
The Canes and the Islanders.
Yeah,
I'll
so
take the
Hurricanes-
Islanders.
Okay. Well, Hurricanes are up 2-0, so I'll take the Hurricanes on that
Oh,
one.
damn, I should have listened. The Bruins. I'll take the Bruins.
Yeah, I think... Oh, man.
They're usually pretty good, right?
Actually, I think Tampa Bay Lightning were the favorites, and they're already out. So,
Oh, the favorites to like go all the way, you mean?
yeah, but they're already out. So,
That happens.
I'll tell you what. Oh, and the Capitals. Ovechkin. So
Ovechkin.
they're also out. But I'll tell you what, I will study up on this, and I'll have a better
Yeah,
showing
we
next
will
week.
make better predictions next week. Because I am, now that it's getting down to like, what is it, 8 teams?
Yeah.
It's a little easier to handle.
Right.
So we will look into it. And we will watch some of the Stars games.
Yes.
Because when the Stars are playing, they don't show the Texas Rangers. So might as well just flip it on the same channel anyway.
True.
Yeah.
Today, Golden State beat the Rockets, so they're up 1-0. And Boston smoked Milwaukee, so they're up 1-0. And that's about it.
And just a little fun tidbit for those of you who don't know. In the last 2 games, the Texas Rangers outscored the Seattle Mariners 29-2.
Yeah, that's insane.
In case you didn't hear me, that was 29-2.
And you know what's funny is I
And
thought
the Mariners are pretty good.
I thought the Rangers were doing great this year, but when you add it up, they're a 500 team right now. It's
But
weird.
they were doing great. That's
Yeah.
what we ran across a couple teams, but maybe this is the upswing. I don't know. So
Oakland. Chris Davis, he's a Ranger killer.
We'll see. Oh, that guy.
But we got to wrap this up. Yeah. So apologize that this this whole episode was kind of thrown together. It's also late, but that's all good. I did get some kudos about the ghetto nachos and ghetto Lunchables that we talked about last time.
We can post a recipe on the Facebook page if you'd like. Okay, but seriously, y'all, next time Sharuk makes ghetto nachos or ghetto Lunchables, I will try to remember to post a picture.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
But it's not like well done. The crackers
You know
are like
what's so
crumbled.
funny? No. You know what's so funny? She talks all this shit, but from the other
I
couch,
always
she's
get
like,
one. Yeah.
Can I just get like one cracker with cheese?
Yeah, but now I'm carrying your child, so you're obligated by marital law to share your food with me. So boom.
Yeah.
So what are you doing after the podcast? You want to make some nachos? We gotta go, y'all. Have a good day.
But anyways, so we'll get better organized. It's kind of hard to figure out scheduling and stuff. We're actually even I told you earlier, we're recording in the bedroom.
We're not, just so y'all know, because it's kind of funny, like my microphone is on the desk and Shruk's microphone is across the room. Like we're not even looking at each other.
Yeah.
We're just like it's like having a phone conversation.
Yeah, no. This is
Usually
crazy.
we're at least like looking at each other when we're talking.
Yeah.
But
Um,
when
yeah.
you've known each other for 17 years, I guess you don't really have to make eye contact. to
Damn,
have a
has it been that
conversation.
long?
Yeah,
Wow.
almost.
Hey, what's the day we met?
July something?
Oh, that's nice.
No, that can't be right. I don't know. I don't
Wow. Dang.
remember.
So
No,
anyways.
it was July 2nd, July 20th, July 22nd, right?
All right, guys. We're also gonna. I think we're gonna try to maybe do a little bit of a change in the format next week, because I like that we're doing all these big topics, or whatever. But I kind of want like the last 10 minutes to be,
Musings.
no, like shit that we can't get to, but they just only need like 1 second of commentary.
I want to do
know-
opinions again,
Okay, that's
or
that's,
like a game. We
yeah.
need to play a game maybe next.
yeah, that makes
next
one of
week.
us. So I think you know
The
what.
people liked opinions.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get like an NBA shot clock thing because it's 24 seconds, and we're just gonna do rapid fire stuff.
Okay.
So we're gonna be like, "Hey, Misty, what'd you think about whatever person's tweet?"
Uh-huh.
And by the way, the question is gonna be within the 24 seconds. So you might have
just like
you
quick.
might have 17 seconds to answer the thing, and that's it. It's a dead topic. I don't get to say anything. That's
We'll
just
call
your
it
opinion.
shot clock stories. Shot clock questions. Shot clock. We'll figure it out. I'll come up with a clever name.
We could do like one of those Migos songs. Drop top. Shot clock. Anyways, till next time, I swear to God, it's going to get better. It's just been a little bit of bumper road. All right. You guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy the playoffs, hockey and basketball. Enjoy the baseball games. And the draft is finally over. All right.
Yep.
Y'all have a good week. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Bye, everyone.
Later.